This happened a couple of years ago, but the memory is still etched in my mind like it happened yesterday. It was the final week of school, and everyone was heading to their last class of the day. Mine was history, a subject I was not only bad at but also hated, thanks to the grumpy old teacher who never seemed to like anyone. I wasn't in the mood to sit through another one of his boring lectures, so I decided to skip. I made my way to the rarely used bathroom at the far end of the school and locked myself in the last stall. Hardly anyone ever went there, and I figured I'd kill time on my phone until the final bell. I was in the middle of a game when the school's intercom suddenly blared. "This is an emergency lockdown. Please proceed with lockdown protocols. Find the nearest secure room and remain quiet." I nearly dropped my phone. At first I assumed it was just a drill. We'd had them before. They never amounted to anything. So, I stayed in the stall, still playing. But then, everything went dark. The lights flickered off, and the familiar hum of the building, the AC, the buzzing fluorescence, vanished. The power was completely cut. That had never happened during a drill. I started to panic a little and texted my friend, asking what was going on. He replied, almost instantly, "Where the hell are you? This isn't a drill. Some guy with a knife is trying to get into classrooms." My heart dropped. I told him I was in the back bathroom, and he immediately told me to stay hidden. I turned my phone's brightness down and waited. Then, I heard it, footsteps. The bathroom door creaked open. Slow, deliberate footsteps moved toward the stalls. One of them creaked open, the one right next to mine. I froze. Then a voice spoke from the next stall, "Just hiding." I heard the announcement. The voice sounded like a student, probably my age. I didn't respond after that. We just sat in silence. Both of us, or so I thought, waiting it out. Eventually, the intercom crackled again, announcing that students were to exit the building calmly and head to the front where police were waiting. I unlocked my stall door and stepped out. But the guy next to me didn't move. "You coming?" I asked. "Yeah, just give me a minute," he replied. Weird, but I didn't push it. I left and started walking toward the front doors. That's when my phone buzzed again. My friend had texted. The guy stabbed people at a gas station, then ran to hide in the school. Cops say he's still inside, somewhere in the back. I broke into a full sprint. I told the first officer I saw everything that had happened. They searched the bathroom. It was empty, except for the shattered window in the far corner. He'd escaped. For the next few days, everyone looked at me like I was some kind of legend, but I didn't feel brave. I just felt lucky, because the person I'd been hiding next to was the same one everyone else was hiding from. This happened a few years back when that weird killer clown hysteria was all over social media. People were posting grainy footage of clowns in parking lots, standing by woods, even chasing cars. My friends and I thought it was hilarious until one day, someone on a fake account tweeted that they were going to show up at our school at 11 a.m. to finish what others couldn't. I thought it was just a prank until the school sent out an emergency notice to parents saying a safety drill would take place that morning, right at 10:30. They never outright said it was because of the clown threats, but we all knew. I was in history class when the lockdown alarm rang. Our teacher quickly shut the blinds and locked the door. At first, it didn't feel real. We sat in silence, joking nervously, waiting for the all clear. About 30 or 40 minutes passed. Then, the hallway lights cut out, then the emergency lights, then the HVAC shut off. Total silence. A minute later, we heard footsteps. Fast ones, then bang, and locker after locker being pounded like someone was sprinting and slamming each one. Then a shout. It wasn't just someone goofing around, it was angry, wild. That's when a figure in a clown mask ran full force into our door, slamming his fists against the window and shouting something we couldn't make out. Someone in the class screamed. Then the clown raised something metal. It looked like a crowbar and smashed the glass panel of the classroom door. I was frozen. He reached through the broken window, trying to unlock the door from inside. Our teacher, God bless him, didn't hesitate. He grabbed a heavy glass award from his desk and smashed the guy's arm with it. The clown yelped and ran. For nearly 2 hours, we stayed locked down until the principal finally came over the loudspeaker. 2 intruders had entered the school, one with a knife, the other with a mask and a blunt object. The police had caught one, but the other slipped away. We got sent home in groups, escorted by staff. I couldn't sleep for days, and even now, sometimes I flinch when I hear heavy footsteps in a quiet hallway. I go to a small school, barely 500 students. Everyone knows each other. So when we heard the lockdown announcement during 4th period, we thought it was a drill. No warning, no explanation, just our principal's calm voice telling us to remain in our classrooms until further notice. My buddy Kyle joked that it was probably a bored bank robber down the street again. We laughed. For a bit, then came the silence, then the footsteps, not one per multiple. We all went dead quiet. Even Kyle stopped talking. Our teacher, Miss Sanders, tiptoed to the door and peeked through the corner window. The lights in the hallway were off, but our school has motion sensors, so if anyone moved through, they'd flicker on. They did, then went off again, then on. Again, something or someone was circling the school. I peeked to staying low. That's when I saw him. A man walked straight up to our classroom door and stared in. I ducked down. Then came the rattling. He tried the knob, then he slammed on the door with his shoulder. Over and over, screaming something we couldn't make out. Then dash crack. The hinges gave way. He walked in. None of us screamed. We were too terrified, huddled in the corner behind rows of desks and cabinets, hoping he wouldn't come further in. I could hear him breathing, pacing. Then a voice from the hallway yelled, "Dude, cops are here, let's go." Footsteps, running, then nothing. They were never caught. Word was, it was a gang trying to send a message. Someone at our school had posted something stupid online. The men were allegedly armed. We were lucky. But the silence that followed, that stuck with me longer than anything. I went to a tiny private middle and high school, maybe 30 students total. One of our volunteer assistant coaches was a quiet guy in his late 40s. He helped out at games and had 2 adopted sons in the school, one older than me, one younger. I barely remembered him. Years later, after graduating, I got a random call from an unknown number. It was him, congratulating me on finishing high school. At first, I thought he was just being nice. But he called again a few days later, this time insisting on taking me out for steak. I declined, politely. He didn't take it well. He started texting, calling, leaving voicemails saying he just wanted to catch up, that he thought we had potential. I blocked him. Fast forward to my sophomore year of college. I get an email. Somehow he found my new school address. It was long. Too long, full of poetic language about lost friendships, souls waiting to connect, and how most people leave behind forgettable lives. But I was different. I had value. He went on about how he saw something special in me, and how his past friendships, some with young women, elderly widows, even a teenage boy who just needed a father figure, were always misunderstood. At the end, he wrote, "Perhaps one day our paths will cross again, and something real can blossom." That was it. I told him firmly never to contact me again. I also mentioned my father was an attorney and that I'd forwarded everything to him. That finally made him stop. A few months later, I did a search out of curiosity. His name showed up in multiple funeral guest books, always for teenage boys. From other states, his messages were eerily familiar, almost copy-pasted, though I never met him in person. I came to love and respect him through our messages. My heart is aching. I don't know what to make of it, but I haven't heard from him since. I just hope those other boys were never alone with him.